Welcome back to Economics Learning. Today I will discuss social versus private benefits and cost of education. It has been found out that in case of developing countries, the social cost of education, the opportunity cost to society as a whole, increase rapidly as the student move to higher education. The private cost, the cost which the students themselves have to bear, increase more slowly or even they may decrease as the student climbs over the ladder of higher education. Thus, because of such widening gap between social and private cost to demand for higher education is having a greater stimulus than demand for a lower education. Thus, the student educational demand at higher levels is more exaggerated in such situation when demand is increasing progressively. The social cost of education also go on increasing. More and more resources will have to be misallocated to educational expenses is in terms of social cost, and the potential for creating new jobs will come down as the governments have to face the budget constraint. These figures show the divergence between private and social benefits and cost. It also displays how this divergence leads to misallocation of resources. A part shows that as a student completes more and more years of schooling, his expected private return increase at a much faster rate than his private cost. Therefore, the best strategy which a student would like to follow is one of spending such a number of years in school where the difference between expected benefits and the cost could be maximized. In the B part of the speaker, we have plotted the social return and social cost. The social benefits curve rises sharply at first. This happens because of increase in productivity of small farmers and self-employed people from the receipt of basic education comprising of educational rapidly basic reading and writing, arithmetic skills and elementary vocational skills. Afterward, the marginal social benefits of additional years of schooling decline more sharply. Hence, the social return curve began to level off. On the other hand, the social cost curve shows the slower rate of growth in the initial years of schooling, the days of basic education. Afterward, the social cost curve rises rapidly, particularly at higher level of education. The cost of primary education rise because of expensive capital and recurrent cost of higher education building and equipment and incurring of heavy expenditure on the provision of subsidized educational. From the B part of this figure, it is deducted that best strategy from social point of view will be one where net social rate of return to educational investment could be maximized. This accordingly will consist of spending B years of schooling on the other part of students. After B years of schooling, the marginal social cost exceed the marginal social benefits. As a result, any additional investment in education will result in the negative net social rate of return. According to the study made by Behrman and Bridesall, the optimal social investment strategy will be one whereby the quality of existing primary schools will be upgraded rather than opening the new and more schools. It has been observed in case of developing countries that the private consideration regarding the value of education often exceed its social value. As a result, regarding the value of education often exceed its social value. As a result, there is not only unemployment of educated person, but the resources of the state are being utilized unoptimally. Therefore, as long as the subsidized higher education is availed of to the people, they will prefer to spend more years in the schools, college and universities, even though the jobs are not becoming available in the modern urban sector and unemployment is rising. Such misallocation of resources will continue how long people value more to education, and its greater burden is borne by the state. The heavy craze for higher education in developing countries gives rise to two types of effects. First one is the output of educated person exceed the number of people which the economy can absorb. In this way, there do exist the chance that the more educated people could not be employed because they do not want to degrade themselves. Their aspirations are very high, which have been instilled in them by the education system itself and are not prepared to accept the realities of unemployment in modern sector. Second one is those people who adjust their insights downward and get the modern sector jobs which they are even educated in terms of number of years spent in school. Those who are unable to get the jobs in modern sector have to join the rank of permanently unemployment, or they have to become self-employed in the informal sector. In this situation, they fail to contribute to society that made a heavy investment in their education. Those in the poor countries like Pakistan, one finds the combination of overpaid and overeducated employed along with the impoverished and unproductive educated unemployment. This is clear a cut wastage of scarce unproductive national resources. It would have been better if such resources could be have been spent in providing jobs to the school, college and university level. Thanks for watching.